Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at a fragrance from the house of Paris Corner, and it's Emir You're Drugged. All right, so Emir You're Drugged is from the house of Paris Corner. It is an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for $32 at places like Fragrance By. I'll have a link down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Also have a coupon code, save yourself $5 off your first purchase at Fragrance By if you decide you want to shop with them. Presentation on this, very nice. This is from the Shades of Dark series, Emir's You're Drugged. Really nice kind of gold calligraphy style script font on the front there. It is a metal tin with kind of a cardboard kind of wrapping around it, I suppose, but it is very, very nice. All the necessaries on the back, and it does slide off like so to reveal our fragrance bottle sitting on the inside. And the fragrance bottle on this is really nice as well. Nice little velvet style podium on the base there. Bottle on this, really quite nice. Nice, thick, heavy glass. It has this kind of metal plate across that has the name of the fragrance. Has this tassel on it that has this like, almost kind of like a chain link style. So it's not like a fabric or anything like that. It is actual metal tassel right there. And the cap on this, really heavy metal, kind of a nice little pattern sitting up top there. So overall presentation on this, very, very nice, especially considering it's $32. Atomizer on this, really wide puffs on this. It doesn't go very far, but I think it's a decent amount, but really wide sprays on this. So atomizer on this is quite nice. Presentation from the bottle to the box, really quite nice. Very impressed, Paris Corner. So if you were wondering what Paris Corner's Emir You're Drugged smells like, you have come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are cardamom, coffee, nutmeg, and cinnamon. So if that sounds a little bit familiar, if you're into the niche fragrance world, into By Kilian especially, you'll notice that the note breakdown of this one is the exact same as By Kilian's Intoxicated. So this is not really trying to hide the fact that it is a dupe, clone, inspired by, not even inspired by, this is a clone of By Kilian's Intoxicated. You're drugged, intoxicated, you guys putting two and two together here. That's what it is. I do not own Intoxicated, so I can't give you a one-to-one comparison on how close this represents the By Kilian fragrance. I can only speak to how this fragrance comes across. For $32 compared to several $100s, I think you're definitely getting your money's worth with this. What I get from the opening on this is a very nice, spicy, fresh, semi-sweet green style of cardamom. Very, very cardamom forward, very spicy. That coffee and that nutmeg, those two combine in the opening and kind of sit just behind that cardamom and add almost kind of like a dark chocolatey bitterness to it, a little bit of kind of nuttiness to it from that nutmeg. It adds just a nice level of darkness to it, a little bit of warm spice to kind of balance out that fresh spiciness that happens with that cardamom. And the cinnamon really kind of sits behind all of that. It does add a little bit of warm spiciness to that whole array of spices, but it does sit in the background behind that nutmeg and that coffee, and definitely behind that cardamom. This is a very cardamom forward fragrance. As this develops, it is fairly linear, but the coffee and that nutmeg really do settle back into the background a lot more, and that cardamom really comes forward. You really get that fresh, spicy touch of sweetness coming through. Very rich, green, amazing style of cardamom. I really like the cardamom in this, and it's a very, very prominent. If you're familiar with Turkish coffee, if you've ever had like a really nice Turkish coffee, this is pretty much what it smells like. I mean, it depends on the cafe you go to, but this is really what it reminds me of, is a Turkish coffee is how this comes through. It's very rich, it's very bold, but it has that kind of cozy, comforting sort of vibe going on at the same time. Like I said, it's very in-your-face spicy, that boldness, there's this masculinity to it. But this could be unisex. The ladies could pull this off, but I do think this is way more of a masculine fragrance in terms of just how loud those spices come across and just how kind of rich, deep, and dark this fragrance gets. Really, really awesome. It is very intoxicating, if you will. Like I said, it has this kind of comfy, cozy, inviting, sexy sort of vibe going on to it that just maintains this bold masculinity at the same point. Really enjoy the scent profile on this. Might not be for everybody. This might be too cardamom forward for people. If you don't like the note of cardamom, you're definitely not going to like this. Could be a little bit too bold, a little bit too spicy for some people, but for me, I really, really enjoyed this. So with the scent profile, I'm super happy. So when it comes to the performance of Paris Corner's Emir You're Drugged, I get about average longevity out of this, 5-6 hours of longevity. If I get a little bit on my clothes and give it a couple extra sprays, I might push it out to kind of maybe the 7-hour mark. but overall it is an average performer in terms of longevity. In terms of projection, it does project fairly good for the first hour and a half or so before it does settle back in. But overall, it is an average performer. You gotta be careful. I did this is a warning from experience here. If you overdo it on the sprays to just try and push that longevity or push that projection a little bit more, you're gonna be blasting people with your spicy cardamom. It is a very spicy style of fragrance. And so even though the longevity and the projection aren't beast mode, they are sitting in that average kind of neighborhood. If you overdo it on the sprays that first hour, you're really gonna be choking people out. So you gotta be careful. This is just a fragrance you gotta just watch in terms of that. Don't try and push the longevity too hard because you're just gonna be obnoxious to other people is pretty much how it goes. So overall, performance on this is average. I wish it was a little bit better, but don't we all when it comes to fragrances? So not disappointed, but not necessarily thrilled either. So when it comes to the where and when I think Emir's You're Drugged would be best suited, I definitely think this is a cool weather fall, winter style of fragrance. It does have that cozy, comforting, inviting, warm, spicy sort of vibe going on to it that just is best suited for those cool weathers, those cool evenings, and the winter time. It is the winter right now here in Canada where I've just been rocking this several weeks in a row now, and it pushes through that cold really nice. It just has that warmth to it. Like I said, it has that kind of like holding a Turkish coffee, just cozying up at home sort of vibe. It's really, really quite nice in the cool weather. Springtime, you can get away with this. I just don't think the vibe is there for it necessarily, but I think for, mild to kind of cooler spring days, you could pull this off. I think in the summertime, the spices in this is just gonna be way too much. I think this would be just way too spicy. So I wouldn't recommend this for the summertime, but you do you. If you want to blast people out with your spicy cardamom in the high heat, go for it. But for me, this is a cool weather fragrance through and through, evenings out, definitely where this is going to shine. In terms of occasions, like I just said, evenings out, I think you can wear this casually, but I think this is a nice date night fragrance as well. It has that sort of sensuality to it, a very inviting, cozy nature to it, has that kind of sexy, masculine boldness to it at the same point. So I think this would be great for date nights. Again, don't overdo it on the sprays because you're gonna be blasting your spice everywhere, but I think it has that kind of inviting nature where you can kind of have more of an intimate moment with this. So date nights, I definitely think this is gonna work. Evenings out as well, and casually, I think you can just wear this around, running your errands, going about your day. Definitely think that's where it's best suited. Formally, you could maybe dress this up. I think this could be fine for a more formal occasion, but it doesn't necessarily have that kind of sophisticated vibe necessarily. It's, again, more of that kind of cozy, inviting, evening out, evening in almost sort of vibe going on to it. So formally, maybe, but definitely think this is casual, definitely date night, definitely evening out is where this is best suited. So my overall thoughts on Paris Corner's Emir You're Drugged is I really like this fragrance. It is a very unique style of fragrance that's different than everything else I have in my collection right now because it's so cardamom forward. If you like cardamom style fragrances, you are going to like this one because it is very cardamom forward, as I've mentioned probably several times in this video already. I really like that fresh spiciness with that little touch of sweetness that comes from the cardamom, and I think that nutmeg coffee combination, adding a little bit of darkness to it, a touch of bitterness to it, and that kind of warm spiciness, along with that cinnamon that kind of plays in the background, just rounds things out really nice. It just kind of accentuates that cardamom, just adds a little bit more kind of character to it, a little bit more richness and depth to it. It's very, very nice. It's very like an intoxicating style of fragrance. Like I said, bold, yet has this comforting, cozy, inviting style nature to it. And I think it's pretty versatile in terms of occasions. Like I said, casual all the way to date night. And it's definitely a really awesome, cool weather, fall, winter style fragrance that I've been wearing quite a bit in this last week or so when it's been super cold outside. This thing just pushes through and it just gives you that warm, cozy sort of feeling. So really enjoy this fragrance. I think for $32, this was a great pickup for me. Performance, I wish was a little bit better, but again, they can't all be beast modes. You'll just have to reapply this if you're gonna have kind of longer days out and about. But average performance of 6 hours with decent projection, I will take that all day, every day for $32 in a Centicord like this. Great pickup, definitely something I think you should check out if that sounds like the style of fragrance you're into. Paris Corner's Emir You're Drugged. And I want to hear from you guys. What's one of your favorite Paris Corner fragrances that you think I should be checking out? Comment down below. Love hearing from you guys. Love getting all your different recommendations. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see y'all next time.